Hello, gentle viewers. This is Avgardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25. Do not adjust your television sets. You are seeing that we are in the off season again. So, as is becoming classic for this channel, what happened was I recorded about 65% of a new episode. And what happened was, in its infinite wisdom, my computer's hard drive decided I'm running low on disk space. And OBS is like, oh no, you're running low on disk space. I better stop recording, but not tell you about it. Um, the reason I didn't tell you about it, by the way, is because of my screen setup. I have OBS off to the side. But when OTP is running, it's on top of OBS, so I couldn't see it. So that's why you may be like, wait a minute, that just says you won the World Series. That didn't happen. You're right, it didn't happen. It happened in the episode that no one will ever get to see. Which is a bummer. I'm not happy about it, but we persevere. We get by. So, what happened last season since you weren't there to see it? Well, I won 103 and 59 in one of the most bizarre seasons I've ever experienced because I had no idea we would be this good. A big piece of that is Sergio Carrillo having a career year and the best year of any pitcher in the major leagues. I feel pretty confident his second Cy Young Award is coming up. It's also Darren Heil. No, I'm not going to say that Darren Heil is going to win the MVP. I think he's close. If we look at the statistics for this particular season, and we look for WAR. Darren Heil led the league in WOBA. He led the league in weighted win probability added. He led the league in OPS and OBP and walks. But he did not lead the league in WAR. In fact, he didn't even crack the top 5, although he's very, very close. He actually finished with 6.8, so he's tied with like 6 other people for second. Is being the best player on the World Series champion enough to get you the MVP? I don't know. Maybe it goes to Landa anyway. He did have an outstanding season. Yeah, he had a pretty great season, so I can't be too upset about that. Let's break down how the season actually went, though. In addition to Darren Heil, we have Mr. Baseball, Aaron Gillens. Andy Gillens. I called him by the wrong name. Now he'll quit the team and punch me in the throat, which I would deserve. He just keeps winning baseball games. He just keeps producing. He is like a metronome. He's not predictable in a good way. But for 4 consecutive seasons now, he has been one of, if not the best player on the team. And you may have noticed already that my owner is like, hey, Doc, what if you gave him a contract extension? And I am not opposed to that in the slightest. So let's have a chat with him. If I wanted to do a 5-year contract, let's get silly, right? Let's see what happens if I ask for this contract. He probably just laughs in my face, which is reasonable. Like, that's a reasonable take there. Okay. He wants to get paid a lot of money. I would want to be paid a lot of money too if I had the same situation. Or I could just be like, what if I got paid $22 million for a single year of work? That'd be pretty amazing, right? Let's see if he takes this. Okay. This is a perfectly fine contract for me. It gets us out of all of his arbitration years at a fairly cheap rate. By the time he gets up to his max level, he's still not going to be making very much money. We can make this work. That feels like a good contract for us. All right, back to the baseballing. Mitch Couples, we have a hard decision to make about, which we'll get into later. Still the 3rd best player on the team. He was big in the postseason in the division series. But his bat was the worst of his major league career up to this point. There's not a lot of nice things to say about his offensive performance, unfortunately. He stole lots of bases. Okay. He hit a few home runs and doubles. We like that. That's a good thing. And he played pretty damn good defense. Not perfect defense, a lot of errors, but good defense. But he didn't hit. And in his infinite wisdom, my manager decided you should be our leadoff guy. The guy with the 313 on base percentage. That's fucking stupid. Like, I get that some managers just like leadoff hitter go fast, and so they put that person at the top of the lineup. That is catastrophically stupid. It is so dumb. It's mind-blowingly dumb. I may force the game to bat him anywhere but leadoff next season. I mean, we won the World Series. How much can I actually bitch? But that's dumb. Jeff Shumo is starting to decline, but in a very odd and interesting way. He's getting better at hitting, but he's getting worse at defense. He was a below average defender this year, although he only made one error, which is nice. Yeah. So that's a very interesting dilemma. Rody Bomers, who was such a good third baseman last year, the game just said, what if we put Guifon Cito at third base instead? And he delivered. He's not a perfect bat, but he has a very, very good glove. Very good. That's quite excellent. And he was still a positive contributor. I know his OPS plus is only 97, which means he wasn't better than average. But he's a premium defensive player who still hit enough extra bases to hit a 414 slugging percentage. Is that good enough? No. It is not good enough. But it is acceptable for now, and we can at least give him another year and see if he can kick it up a notch in this next season. Chris Akoff, who you may remember from being a shortstop, has transitioned to being a right fielder and was really fucking good at it. I think he's found a new career, and it's one that we could really use the help at. So very excited to see him become the best version of himself. Mike Bennett, on the other hand, is becoming imminently replaceable. He is way overpaid for his actual value. After this coming season, I can opt out of his contract, which I will happily do. Happily. Juan Galindo had an interesting season. 17 home runs is obviously better than 0 home runs, but he is also struggling mightily to be worthy of serious consideration as a top tier left fielder. Call it the curse of Kellen Bulkley or something, but it seems like recently we've had a really hard time finding consistent, high quality outfielders. The thing is, though, like, let me quickly make a point that I made in the last video that no one ever got to see. I do have to do under trading, and then players, and then find a player. Okay. 50 overall outfielders. That's all I'm looking for right now. 50 overall outfielders. That's not that many. And a lot of them already play for me. So even though I don't think he's that great a player, he's still one of the better outfielders in the league, which is kind of silly when you think about it. We will almost certainly do something about Galindo, though. Keeping him around is just not worth it. Not when I have other outfielders who could potentially be even more valuable and even more useful. Rody Bomers didn't play. I'm not going to get rid of him yet, but he's on reasonably thin ice. RJ Morley's rookie season did not ultra impress except for one very important number. This one right here. The power was real. So this is a man to get 57 hits, 40 of which went for extra bases. 30 of which went for extra bases. I can't math, I'm sorry. That is, as we say, pretty good. That's pretty good. I would love for him to pick up the outfield. I think that would be a great way to get more value out of him. I've already set up part of my player development in that I have Heil and Morley learning new positions. Heil is an amazing baseball player, but he's not a very good second baseman. If I can get him off of second base, maybe getting him into the outfield, something I think will be an even better team. Even better. Even better at baseballing. And that's one thing that I would very much like to see. Heil is too good not to play. That's not the consideration here. I will happily play him. I won't happily play him at second base, but I will play him at second base even if he sucks because he's that good at hitting. But I would like to get him to a position where he's maybe a little bit more effective. A lot of help off the bench. Um, Ignacio Tovar is in the driver's seat for one of the outfield spots, which I'm pretty sure means that Galindo is gone. I don't think an amazing corner outfielder defensively is worth when there's really good offensive ones who could give him a job instead. Carrillo, amazing. Mike Boardman was the closer for the first time, and he actually accounted for himself quite well. Ernie Jarvis. Remember how in the last video I said he was ageless and he was fantastic each and every year? Father Time caught up with him. I've already voided his last contract year. If we talk to him, like, does he want to come back for less money? He wants to stay for $14 million. The problem is, I don't think he's worth $14 million. Maybe he is. Maybe if he had a better second baseman. You know what? That's a good point. That is a really good point. I'm going to give him an extension, but I'm going to do it on my terms, which is going to be 2 team options. If he doesn't like it, he should try not sucking as much. Yeah. He's such a good player, and he's been so good for so long, that I actually had convinced myself I wasn't going to try to bring him back, but I think this actually makes sense. I think it's actually a very reasonable offer. Even if he can't start, but I think had he had a better second baseman behind him, he would have had a better year. So, yeah. Carmona was not as great as last season, but still pretty great. Not a great look that we just signed into this giant contract extension, and he had a down year. But it's fine. It's fine. David Jeske had a pretty good season. Not a flawless one by any stretch of the imagination, but for a kid who barely pitched above, who never pitched in AAA, I'm happy with this. Is there room to get better? Absolutely, and I expect him to get better. But for right now, I'm reasonably happy about it. Dan Sutton continues to do Dan Sutton things, and then there's the rest of the bullpen, which was very beneficial. Only Jabari Bickford really struggled. He needs to figure out how to not walk people. That seems essential to his success as a pitcher. Essential to everyone's success as a pitcher. One player you haven't seen yet is Sergio Zapata. That's because he got hurt at the end of the season, and I put him in AAA. He's done. He may not realize it, but he is done. I opted out of his contract. Fantastic player, love him to death. I can't anymore. I cannot. If you talk to him, he's like, "What if you just gave me $2 million? I need the roster spot. That's the problem. I need the roster spot. I can't have him in the majors anymore. I wish him the very best. If I could sign him to a minor league deal, I'll do it in a heartbeat. But I can't do it. I cannot keep him on this team. I will be back momentarily. I'm actually kind of glad now that the video died because now I had a chance to rethink about Ernie Jarvis. I didn't really want to lose 2 legends in one go, but like, he's done. He couldn't. I mean, he hit pretty well in AAA. So I guess if he wants to keep playing baseball, he could stay in the high minors or find somebody that's desperate. But it's not going to be with me, which is a shame. But he is also very clearly a Hall of Famer. Very, very clearly. Like, he's one of the best players in the history of Major League Baseball. He's really fucking good. There's no way he's not in the Hall of Fame. If and when he retires. Maybe he just never retires, who knows. But, alright. But we have a bigger decision to make. One moment. That was a big sneeze. Which is Mitch Couples. So let's get after this, because this is, I think, going to be the crucial decision of this episode. Mitch Couples had the worst offensive year of his career. And let's do some analysis here. Like maybe he just got unlucky. His BABIP was definitely below his career average. He was an amazing base runner. That's fun. Um, but all of his numbers dropped except his stolen base percentage. He still strikes out 20% of the time he's at the plate. He doesn't walk very often. Um, he's 31 and he's quite honestly fragile. He hasn't missed a full season yet. He's played at least 128 games in every season of his career, except for 2042, where he missed the entire season, basically. I think we need to move on from him. And I don't like doing it. I think he, if I am wrong, if I'm wrong about his actual capabilities and he turns it around, I think he's a Hall of Famer. I think that's the case. Not a first ballot, but it's close, right? Here's something else that makes me a little leery of keeping Couples, besides the fact that his defense is still very good, but and let me show you why. It's Joe Bach. And Joe Bach's only weakness is his low range, which actually may be another argument against promoting him to full time. We have Sato that can play shortstop. We have Sam Sexton who can play shortstop. We have Skenan Dore who can play shortstop. We have lots of shortstop possibilities. I guess the real question is, can we afford to replace a second baseman and a shortstop, assuming we find a new position for Darren Heil? Why not? I find it hard to believe that keeping Mitch Couples makes us a better team, especially because of the amount of money he's wanting. Now, maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I'm being unreasonable. Maybe he's not that far off of where he was in 2045. I don't know. It's only one more year, which is an argument to keep him around. But then I have a different question, which is what happens if he gets hurt or if I don't get any trade value for him? He'll probably not. He'll probably take the qualifying offer, and then I'll be up shit's creek. Can I let him go? Purely from a performance standpoint, yes. But from a defensive standpoint, I think also yes. Yeah, I think we just rip off the band-aid. I'm gonna void his contract, and we're gonna. If he will take a pay cut, which I doubt he will, I'll keep him. But I don't think he's gonna take a pay cut. I think he's gonna tell me to get fucked if I even suggest it. Void. Let's talk to Mr. Couples now and see what kind of contract he would want to stick around. He wants to get paid a lot more money, which is kind of what I thought would happen. I'm gonna give Couples a qualifying offer. Either he takes it and I get a draft pick, or either he takes it for a slight raise, or I get a draft pick, and either one of those things is fine with me. Either one of those is fine with me. Chris Lane wants to come back, but he also wants like $8 million, which I'm not prepared to pay. Let's talk arbitration. Daniel Roca and Boardman, I think, both get extensions. I think that's a reasonable ask. I'm not going to guarantee him the closer role because I want that to be an open competition, but I will give him his money. Okay. Excuse me. Galindo, I think, might be on his way out. Jeff Schumo. I am waffling. Bear with me while I just offer some minor league deals here. Okay. Okay, question the first. Always the first question. Do I have a replacement for Shuma? Is there a center fielder on this team who could handle the job? Maybe. Jesus Moncada is not a center fielder though. Jeffrey Craig is. If he comes back, that's a possibility. We could give Tim Wood some more experience at the position, I guess. Losing Shuma makes us worse off in a way that I'm not ready to replace yet. Tovar cannot play center field. Galindo can. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe we'd let Galindo play center and keep him for another year. I'm willing to entertain that possibility. I don't move on from people until I'm sure that I don't need them. That's my big takeaway there. We're gonna drop the salary a bit. And there we go. Done. Okay, let's build up the rest of my player development lab. Prospects. Let's get Jorge Armenta working on his control. Let's get Jimmy Osborne working on his secondary pitches. Jorge the Lizard King Armenta. What a name. Mike Kukin was our second round draft pick last season. I would love for him to be a little bit better as a baseball player, but I'm also kind of just happy to let things come as they may. I think we trade Lawrence Pinkson. I think somebody's going to want him, and I think I can get a decent prospect for him, so I'm not going to bother teaching him anything. Tim Davis cannot play second base. Greg Barrett can kind of shortstop. Let me have Tim Davis earn a new position, maybe. Maybe that'll make him more useful coming down the line here. And then Ignacio, get that plate discipline up. There you go. Done. Let's trade Pinkson. I'm getting offers. That's good. That's cool. I'm not going to trade a first base prospect for a first base prospect. That doesn't help me. Unless he could play the outfield, I guess. I guess it's at least worth asking, right? Nope. Okay. What's the game plan, Stan? Landon is okay. I could certainly see him being a useful player to have in our system. Batute can't play center field, alas. Vigil's okay. Moneta's okay. I'm seeing a lot of okay here, and I really like somebody that's actually genuinely, like, good. This I can work with. This is a really good backup catcher who has the potential to maybe start under the right circumstances. Let's go after him. I know they're gonna laugh in my face about Phil Burns, so I had to ask, even though I knew the answer was likely gonna be no. Chris King is a good player, but I don't have room for him, and I don't know what I would do with him. Mr. Consman here would be pretty decent. as another option to play the infield potentially. You want more? I'm not going to give you more. How about Tayshawn Isam? I'm willing to make this offer and see what we can get. I know I can't be too picky because we're gonna lose him if I don't. Thank you for the reminder, game. It's not worth it to me to throw anything else in. I'll just take this deal and run with it. What about Jesus Rivera? Jesus Rivera is a perfectly fine third baseman, but can't really play any other positions. He does have big time power. I'm willing to add him to the 40 man to see if he can turn into something special. Okay. Let's simulate ahead a little bit and see how some of our long term contract offers are going to go. Lots of people are signing, as I expected. Gillens and Jarvis are thinking about it. Gillens is Gillens is excited. I'm excited. We're all excited here. This is the contract he's got. I think it's very reasonable. Very, very reasonable. Even if he isn't the very best, I think he's really, really good, and I think his salary reflects that. Okay, Toby Phillips is exactly the kind of outfielder that I would go ass over tea kettle for in the past. No. Mm-mm. Nope. So Jarvis sticks around. That makes the fans happy. Fans are going to be super sad when Zapata leaves. I can't do anything about that. Santiago Romero, eh? Mm. Again, he's a good player. I'm not even opposed to trading Morley, but I don't want to give up Morley if I'm not getting a center fielder, basically. Darren Heil got a Silver Slugger, as is expected. Nope. Best AL manager is mine. Nice. Do I want you? No, because you're not a center fielder. That was easy. Yeah, none of you guys actually play center, so that's not gonna work for me. Can we get the rare duo getting both the MVP and the Cy Young Award winner? Maybe. In fact, we did. Well done, us. I want to see how close the voting was for Heil. Oh, we also cut Casey Cho. He's gone. I ate his salary last season, and I'm sure he's off to some other wonderful franchise to learn how to baseball. I guess I don't know. Let us now. Yeah, Korea was unanimous, which I expected. Haya was much more contentious, which I am not surprised by. That makes sense to me. That makes sense. That is a big old kid. Let's shortlist him. I want to make sure I get all the deets on him. What if anybody's signed Choate after I released him? I don't think anybody did. Oh, interesting. They're trying him out as a first baseman. Go for it, I guess. I wonder why I didn't get a notification that he signed. I don't know. I don't know how he got a World Series ring, but he didn't play hardly at all for me, but sure. Could I just be like, no, you don't get a ring. Fuck you, dude. That's mean. That's mean. Did couples decline the offer? Is my question. He declined it. That's what I expected. He's probably going to get a lot of interest, and I'm not going to be the one to give it to him. So yeah, somebody else is more than free to sign him for a reasonable contract price. All right, step one. Let's turn off the notes that I have. At least I'm going to turn this note off. Die. Right. I mean, Juan Pacheco is a flat out upgrade, but I'm not prepared to pay that much money for him. I don't think that's a smart idea. Let's offer Willard LaFontaine, um, let's say a 3-year deal. See if that does for him. Mm. Oh, interesting. I traded Ivanic and they just cut him. Okay. Mihikio Sasaki is a very, very good pitcher, but I'm not prepared to pay that much money for a reliever. So no thanks. If Chris Land will come back for 2 million, I'll give him 2 million. He was quite an effective reliever for me, so I will happily give him a new contract if he wants it. Because he wanted like 8 million a year. I just wasn't going to give him that much. Okay. Mm, fans are going to be major sad when he departs, and I'm just going to have to say sorry. Billy Youngblood is actually a pretty good pitcher. I could maybe see offering him like a 3 or 4 year deal potentially, maybe, possibly. I could go for Brad Findlay. He is much more in tune with the kind of center fielder that I want to have on this team. 28 million is not a small sum of money. Is it the right choice? Is it the right decision to bring him on? No, he's not that good at center fielder. Never mind. Are there any good center fielders in this free agent class, I wonder? I don't want to sign somebody unless he's very clearly an upgrade. I will sign Josh Welcher. I think he at least has earned an opportunity potentially. Is there anything else that I want to look for? I have money for free agents. I just don't really have any real incentive to sign any of them. Mm, hmm. Am I being cheap about couples? I don't think so. I think I'm making the right decision. It's not just about money. It's about the best what's best for the team. Do we bring on Findlay? Okay, what are the ramifications of adding Findlay? Then basically I have to either go to Shumo or I have to find a new position for one of my other outfielders, which is gonna be awkward. Hmm. Let's just sim forward for a little bit because there aren't good free agents hitting the market, which is the biggest issue right now, and I'm not going to overpay for somebody. The last guy worth overpaying for was that awesome starting pitcher from Japan last season. Damn, David Gaona goes over to the Dodgers. Okay, all right. Clark, Chorio, Giacoletto, Mark Greenman, Ted Hussey, Ted the Hussey. I'll vote for Van Joniken. I will happily vote for Eric Lee. Mr. Kunst here, I think, is a worthwhile addition. I'll vote for Orion Kettering because I want to see if he can make it in. This feels good. This feels like the right people to vote for. So, yeah, we'll do that. Morley picked up left field, which is something I wanted to happen. Heil did not. Davis did not. Morley's not a very good outfielder, but at least he can theoretically play the position. Theoretically. Alright, what do I do about Darren Heil? I think we had to just keep eating it, which really sucks, but he's such an amazing player that I think even if he's a bad second baseman, we just deal with it. And maybe with a guy like Sam Sexton can cover it up at shortstop. I think maybe that is an appropriate choice to make. What do we do about Mike Bennett? I'm already losing Zapata, so I can't afford to lose too many captains. And right now, Mike Bennett is the captain. Ernie Jarvis is now merely a leader instead of being a captain. So I guess you just kind of have to deal with it for right now, maybe. Oh, Dan Sutton. I don't know that we can keep him. I just feel like he's taking up a roster spot that should be given to a full time pitcher, and I don't think he's good enough at pitching to be a full time pitcher. He's not bad. Maybe I just hang on to him for right now. Yeah, Dan Sun has to be a full time pitcher. He needs to stop trying to catch. I know he's really good at it defensively, but I don't want him catching anymore. I want him on the mound every fifth day, and if that means he can't catch, then he can't catch. But he's too good a pitcher to be wasted on catching. So that's the thing that happens for sure. Let's keep going a little bit farther here. Not interesting. Are there any interesting young center fielding types? Okay, I want a center fielder who has a potential of at least 55. Oh, sorry, search all leagues. If there's someone like in the Indies, I want to be able to see them as well. At least 55 defense as well. Mm, Campos is pretty good. I feel like there's a low probability that they would trade him at all, but it's worth asking, right? Davenport is really, really good, but he's also 37, and there's no guarantees it'll come back at the level he used to be. Let's kick the tires on Campos. Let's just see. Let's just ask. Okay, they're asking for a lot, which doesn't surprise me. What if we start with one of my infielders? What if we started with Skeen and Dory? It moves the needle slightly, but not by enough. Okay, okay, okay. What if I added Bachman? No, this is just getting stupid. Like, you're being really ridiculous. I'm not even gonna bother talking to you anymore. You suck. I get a first round pick, and couples signed with the Giants for a pretty happy raise. I don't blame him at all. I don't. And I still think we're at least. I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're definitely better off, but I'm going to tell you that we're not worse off. I think we have enough players that can play the shortstop position that we're going to find the right fit for less money, which will give us more flexibility to add players in the future. I truly believe that. I truly think that that is an accurate statement. Um, does anybody want Mike Bennett? Nope. Okay, people love him some Mike Bennett. Okay, this is good to know. This is good to know. You're a very good outfielder. If you played center, I'd be all over you, but you don't. So, yeah. Mm. Brother Maynard. Jorge Bandon isn't a bad player at all. I feel like I'd be selling too low if I got Bandon, but I wouldn't be upset about it. Should I get Mike Summerfield? No. Not that giving up way more than I'm willing to give up. I mean, a reliever like Chris Wilson is probably worth a pitcher like Mike Summerfield, but I don't think Mike Summerfield's all that good now that I think about it. So, no. Thank you, but no. I'm not going to trade for a catching prospect, but I might trade for a catcher. Um, Bobby Compton is decent. And I can get him for a song, basically. So that's interesting. If I can get Compton fairly cheaply, I'm going to keep asking. Because all Dave Medina is a defensive shortstop, and he's very far away from the major leagues, in my opinion. Mm, this is probably fine. Let's do it. I don't have, technically don't have a captain right now, so that's something we're going to want to address. Um, Pat Martinez is a pretty solid backup catching choice. I think we'll go ahead and give the job to him for now. Hmm. There's just not a lot here to get excited about, to be honest with you. There's just not a lot here. I mean, I guess what I could do is as we get deeper into the season, I could potentially take on somebody else's bad contract to get a really good player in exchange. I guess I could sign Alvaro Luna for $1.3 million. I guess. Like Jeff Raven isn't a bad second baseman, but I don't have anywhere else to put Heil, and I'm not benching Heil. And I think that's the crux of the matter, right? That is the issue. I'm going to take Jeff Schumo off of playing in center field and see how the game reacts to that if I'm no longer forcing him to play center field. And let's advance time a little bit. Chris Lane and LaFontaine both took new contracts, which is great. Does Bandon have to be in the Major League roster? He does. Okay, that's fine. That's acceptable. I hate that we have so much money to spend and I don't really have a good option. Maybe I should have been cheap on Couples. Maybe I should have just kept him. But at the end of the day, I think we've got enough infield talent that we can replace him. I think making Dan Sutton a full-time starting pitcher is going to help a lot. Oh yeah, I did sign you too, didn't I? Okay. Welcher? I barely know her. I mean, it's going right to the minor leagues. Like, he's not starting in the majors, that's for certain. But I don't want to lose him either. I am curious to see how Mr. Bennett does with San Diego. He just wasn't worth what he was being paid. That's what it comes down to. Now, maybe San Diego's happy to give him the salary that he thinks he deserves, but I don't think he was worth it. And more importantly, he was blocking a better player. And I think it's always an important time to move on is when a better player is being blocked. Um, Eric Craig ain't that good. Danny Grutzmacher, maybe. Nah. There's nothing here that's worth getting excited about, in my opinion. I think I just end the draft and don't take anybody. I lost David Puentes, who is a perfectly average relief pitcher. Okay. Let's go up to international free agent signing. Oh, I do want to check on Zapata. I want to see if anybody has signed him yet. Get out of here, Battle.net. Where is the man, the myth, the legend, Sergio Zapata? Did he just like vanish? No team. I think even a 1 year contract isn't worth it to me. What about a minor league deal with a $2 million option? Yeah. If nobody signs you, if you want to play anywhere, you're gonna have to come talk to me. So yeah. I agree with you. This is three mediocre prospects for a really, really good pitcher. So I don't think so, man. So right now the plan is to play Shumo in left and Tim Wood in right. Tim Wood in center. I'm not opposed to that, but I'm not convinced it's the best choice. But that's okay. It is really not the best. Like, it's just an ungood trade. The people love them some Mike Boardman, but I'm not trading him for pennies on the dollar. Rodolfo here is okay. Adamson is decent, and Fonte is bad, and Feldner is meh. Yeah. If people want Boardman, they can have him, but they've got to wow me. Because otherwise, I just like having him on the team to help pitch and do good things for us. I did not know that about the Lake County Captains. There you go. Cool. I'm not saying that I wouldn't trade Jap Shumo, but I am saying I wouldn't trade him for that. Swisher, Hussey, Lee, Kunst, and Montani all made it in. McClanahan dropped out. Kellen Bulkley didn't even got one vote. That was it. Alejandro Rivera, another Silver Wolves legend, got maybe 2 votes. Amar EO, but didn't make it to a second year. Bummer. Okay. All right. You know what? Nobody's giving me a legitimate offer for him. I'm just gonna say he's not on the table. Because you keep making bad decisions. You keep offering me bad trades, and you're not offering me anything that it's worth my time to even revisit. So yeah. All right, let's get after it here. Ignacio Rivera is a pretty brilliant pitcher. He's pretty great at pitching. But is a pitcher what I want? And I don't know that it is. Happy Sprackling is not a center fielder, but is otherwise a really good hitter. Um, I mean, when you can get a guy like Happy Sprackling, you have to do it, right? He is really fucking good, though. Like, he is incredible. I think we do it. I think we absolutely do it. I'm not saying we'll be able to be successful because I can only offer 4.75 million, but I can at least try it. What? Fuck out of here. Really? Alright, hey losers. If you're a 20 over, if you have 20 potential, you leave immediately. I'm not missing out on an amazing player like Happy Sprackling. Uh, yeah. I will give you 4750123. Now maybe he turns me down, but if he doesn't, I am very excited to have him in our franchise. Yeah, I can't compete with the Rockies because they got a bigger pool than I do. I mean, Mauricio Arviziu is almost as good. He's just not as good a defender, but he's as good a hitter. We can try it. Really, fucker? Really? Like, if all you care about is money, I can't compete with that. What about Ignacio Rivera? He is really good. Again, probably too rich for my blood, but you know, maybe it can happen. Damn you. Like, all the other prospects are pretty flawed. Which I guess makes sense. We're at that point in the process. Albert Villagomez cannot play third base. Jorge Hernandez. Jorge Handyman Hernandez. Seems like he could be a pretty good hitter. Potentially. Maybe. Julio Montoya is really good all around. He's just not exceptional, but I do think he's worth considering. Let's go for Rigo? No. Pardon me. Let's grab Montoya, whose defense will definitely play in the corners. Okay, what if I offered you lots of money? How does that sound? Do you like the idea of getting paid lots of money? They haven't instantly rejected me to make more money with somebody else, so that's cool. I probably need to start leveraging players to get, like, bonus pool money. Yeah, fuck you, dude. Just stop being so goddamn greedy, right? Jorge Hernandez is fine. He's just not as exciting as the other options that have been available to me. Can any of you shitheads actually play center field? Not really. Julio Demoy has one tool. It's a really good one, but it's not enough to be successful, in my opinion. Jorge Hernandez is pretty good. We can try him out. I mean, it's probably not going to matter. He's probably going to tell me tomorrow, like, oh, I should sign with this team because they're offering me more money. Like, I can't compete with that. So fuck off. Well, we got Jorge Hernandez. I guess that's good. I guess. Hmm. I have so much money, I just don't have anything to spend it on, which is really funny to me. Because normally, so much in these series, I'm like, I can't afford to keep this, that, and the other player. But in this case, it's like, I've got plenty of money, I just don't have anything to do with it. This alarms me. This concerns me. Hopefully, it's just I'm a bit rusty. I'm gonna come back strong. But this could be quite ungood. I'm expecting a lot out of Carmona. I don't regret not taking couples. I need to keep saying just to convince myself partially, but also because I genuinely don't. I think there's enough interesting choices with him off the team that we can see if we can get another level here. All right. I got 40 players. I got room for more. All right. Armenta, Osborne, Davis, Hindman, and Lauris. All the rest of you guys can get fucked. All right. Neat. How long are you suspended for, bro? Oh, just 2 more games. Okay. I potentially have a really damn good young pitching staff. Like, really, really good. If guys like Yevsky, Osborne, Sutton all reach their potential, we should be able to turn over pretty quickly from the Jarvis years into the next years. Not to mention our Cy Young winner. I feel like he's a pretty good at pitching as well. Let's go to the next one. Nice work, Tovar. Nice work. That is very poopy. Um, it's not the absolute worst because I do have options to play first base. What if, hear me out, what if Ohio played first base while you were injured? What if I did that? Alright, let's try an experiment here. I'm gonna take off the requirement to play. No, my problem is I'm worried they won't play him at all. And he's too good to not play. So we might just have to figure it out. Pluvios, you can go right back on the IL. You shouldn't have come off, but I didn't have a choice, so. I think that probably means RJ Morley starts the year at first base, would be my most, I think is the most likely scenario. Maybe. Or Shumo shifts over to first base and we play Tovar in the outfield. We have plenty of options. It sucks. I like Gillen a lot, and I think he's a tremendous player, but that's a hit I can take. That is an acceptable hit to take. Player development, anything crazy happen? Not really. Ignacio Tovar is really good. I just wish he actually could play center field competently. I would instantly make him a big deal. Damn. Gaona actually didn't make very much money. I would have paid him more than that. Maybe. Maybe not. I guess looking at his career with them, I don't feel as bad that I missed out on him, but it is still 13 WAR that I could have had. Um. Hmm. Oh, yeah. Good times, man. Good times. Was this all Escalera? Yeah, Escalera had a pretty okay career. Who had the big career here? Uh, Ian Garral had a pretty good career. Hmm. Yeah, Rodolfo Guerrero hurt. It turned out that both Dylan Blanc and Free Manners were at least decent. Show the top 15, please. Now I get lots more deals in here, which is exciting. I mean, look, Zapata, Jarvis, and Carrillo were pretty great hits. Jacques Aledo was pretty amazing. Couples was a great draft pick. Yeah. I feel pretty good about this. I feel pretty good about what I've accomplished as a franchise, and I don't feel bad about trading some of these guys away. Yeah. I wonder if Zapata just retires. I wonder if that's a thing that could happen. I mean, it has to be considering it, right? Like, no one's going to offer him a major league deal because he's not that good anymore. And I don't think he wants to play for the Indies, so I don't know, man. If he came back and asked right now, I'd offer him a minor league deal. Dan Sutton, it's okay if you miss a week. I'm not mad. I'm not even disappointed. You take your time off, friend. I wonder if all those years of having Dan Sutton also play behind the plate have actually cost us some pretty nasty stuff. Possible. I probably should have put a stop to his two-way nonsense a lot faster than I did. That's on me. I think that would have been the right decision. But, all right, friends, let's get the roster set. Sutton is going to be back in a week. I'm not going to bench him for that. I have 24 pitchers. I would like to have 13 at most. All right, Armenta, minors. Golden Corral, I think we just waive him. Hindman, minors. Lares, minors. Osborne, minors. Vargas, minors. Weber, minors. 17 players. 3 to 4 more pitchers have to go. Okay. Fuentes, minors. Lampman, minors. I want Britford to get some confidence back, so I think I sent him to the minors as well. I need to get rid of 2 more players. Well, Jeffrey Craig is one of them. So I guess we're okay to keep 13, although Gabe Vega's not really doing me any favors. I'm gonna trade him real quick and see if anybody wants him. And if they don't, I'm just gonna cut him because there's no sense in me keeping his salary. Yeah, these guys all suck. Yeah, Gabe Vega was. I mean, I guess I could just waive him, right, and see if anybody bites. That's true. All right, so we're down to 13 pitchers. Yeah, that feels okay. Position players. Tim Davis to the minors. Oh, we're playing Chris Akoff at first. That's okay. I think he can handle it. I've got to get rid of 5 position players. Okay. Welcher to the minors. Bandon to the minors. I truly think Steve Pratt goes to the minors. Unless somebody actually wants him. Maybe somebody wants him. Maybe somebody's like, holy shit, Steve fucking Pratt, that guy's the best. Probably not, but you never know. A Ben Breed is a no from me, dog. Jesus Moncada, however, is a yes from me. Like, I'm not even gonna waste my time fucking around with this. I'll happily just trade for Moncada and call it a day. It just upgrades our team. It just upgrades the minor leagues, so I'm pretty happy about that. Um, Sam Sexton is declining. That is not good. That does not make me a happy camper. How did he get worse? He just did. Okay. Okay. I hear you. Oh, Rivera, I don't need. 2 position players have to go. Okay. Do I trade Morley? I feel like Morley could be somebody that gets me an okay return. And I have so many infielders. Like, so many I can't even put them all in the major leagues. That I feel like hanging on to Morley just because he might be okay is probably a waste of everybody's time. I'm gonna look at prospect packages. I'd like to get at least 3 pack. I'd like to get at least 3 yellows or a green and a yellow. Here's one. Chris Potter is a pretty decent pitcher. I can see that one. Joe Scaraphile is not an infield, is not a middle infielder, and Mike Priola is pretty good actually. Mike Priola is somebody I could get behind, but the rest of these guys aren't that interesting to me. All right, Daniel Cerna. He's acceptable. Like nothing he does is exciting, but he is acceptable. Arturo Armas isn't bad. Julio Para is fine. What if I just look now for a single player? Arturo Foz is trash. Utter trash. Nobody else would rate him as green except for my team. Damn. Mm. I think we put Morley on the block and see if we start getting offers for him. I don't think I have to trade him right this second, but I do think his time with us is going to be relatively short. I think Skeen and Dory is acceptable to keep in the majors, but I'm not completely married to it. I think Juan Galindo has given me 2 consecutive years of mediocre offense. I think we trade him. Maybe, what if I offered Galindo and Morley? What if I did that? How does that change the equation? Can I get a real good prospect now? It is the exact same offers as being made for Morley, so I'm just going to drop Morley and just trade Galindo. Or maybe nobody wants Galindo. Yeah, I guess that's the issue. These guys all kind of suck. I think I just send him to the minor leagues and we see what happens. But I don't think he's not making the opening day roster, that's for sure. I'll probably need to get rid of an infielder. That infielder is probably Bomers, but maybe it's Scanandori. I like Scanandori's glove actually. I think Sexton is my opening day shortstop, so I can't demote him. I don't think. Oh, you're playing Joe Bach instead. At least against left-handed pitching. That makes sense. He's not a terrible shortstop. He's just not a great one. Okay. So it comes down to Skeet Dory or Bomers. And I think it's Bomers. Bomers. There we go. I would be utterly shocked. I mean, neither of these guys are that good. That's my problem. If I could get one more prospect on top of these two, I would do it. Would have to be a decent player. Maybe not somebody that's like super elite or anything, but somebody at least that's decent. I could get behind David Gracia. You know, I keep saying that I want international signing bonus. Wait, I can only add 16,000. Why? That's fucking stupid. Um. If you add a Gracia, this turns into a really good decision for me. So I think we have to try it. I'm going to simulate today. Is that true? Yeah, because it doesn't affect the opening day roster. Because Galindo isn't going to make the opening day roster anyway. This is definitely a season of change. Um, Not necessarily good change, not necessarily bad change, but definitely a season of change. What do I have to throw in here? Abso-fucking-lutely not. I guess I take Becerra and Lara and just accept the fact I'm not going to get very much for Galindo. Treading him at the absolute zenith of his abilities. Not zenith. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the very, very bottom? I think it is. No, apex and zenith basically mean the same thing. I don't remember. It's not that important. Yay for David Lozada. That's fun. So what does the opening day roster look like? It looks very different from last year's opening day roster. There are a total of 2 players who started the year on the opening day roster. Heil and Shumo. Akoff, Tovar, Cito, Martinez, Wood, and Sexton, none of them started for this club last season. I find it perplexing that Pat Martinez is starting over what's his face? Moores. Oh, I say you're platooning them. I see. That seems silly to me, but okay. Yeah, so none of these guys started last year. And if we look at our lineup against left-handed pitching, you'll notice it's also almost completely new people. So let's not sugarcoat it. This is a worse lineup than last year's lineup, probably. I like the idea of not having a guy like Mitch Couples clogging the top of my lineup. I don't know that Acop is any better. In fact, I'm fairly certain that he isn't. But I also don't know who should be the leadoff hitter on this team, other than maybe Heil. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, this lineup could be one of the best in the league, and it could be utter garbage, and it's hard to say which. Missing Gillens is gonna suck, but at least he'll be back in April, so we won't have to deal without him for too long, which is good. And Tim Wood should absolutely provide elite level center field defense. Sam Sexton, I think, can handle himself quite well at shortstop, so I think we've got some good defenders on this team. I just question about our top line offense relies very heavily on Ignacio Tovar being worth his time, and I think he is. I absolutely think that he is. And relying on young players, rookies, to really have an outstanding season. Yeah. Very possible, very not possible. It's really hard to say. The pitching staff is very strong. We're rotating to yet another closer, which I find confusing to me. I don't know why Daniel Roca is being treated like a lefty killer when he's so much more than that. But whatever. I trust my manager, I think. Chris Wilson is now our closer, which is pretty crazy. Mike Boardman is now just a middle reliever a year after having a great year as a closer. But is there any Jarvis going to get any starts? Probably. I can very easily see a situation where he gets 1 or 2 starts. I wish Jeffrey Craig wasn't starting. But I don't really have an argument for who should be starting over him right this second. So, for right now, we take it. For right now, we take it. But I do question the long-term decision to let Jeffrey Craig pitch. And I think Armenta is going to be beating down the door very rapidly. Or Osborne, or Lampman, or Britford. I think there's plenty of people better pitching than Jeffrey Craig. Yeah, so this is going to be a fascinating season. It's going to be interesting to see if the young players can step up. And it's going to be really important to see how the team does. The pitching staff can basically carry the offense. I think we've got some really talented players, and getting Andy Gillens back is going to be huge. But it is certainly not a guarantee that we're going to be as competitive as we were last season. I just think we're going to be in a little transitional era. We got rid of Couples. We got rid of Zapata. Zapata wasn't worth very much last season. Sorry. I don't want to be that guy, but does Mr. Zapata still want a minor league deal, maybe? I would still give him one. Oh, it helps if you spell his name correctly. Yes, I need Sergo Zapata. He is an absolute legend. If he wants a minor league deal, he can have it. 100%. Having him in the system just to help teach my young players how to be amazing is absolutely worth the nothing that I would be paying him. Which is awesome. Yeah. A lot of crazy stuff happening. A lot of turnover. But maybe interesting. Maybe this ends up being one of our best seasons yet, but probably not. Regardless, thank you very much for watching. This has been Guardian, and until next time, I bid you good day.